welcome back to this lesson. In this lesson, we're going to be tackling the factors that affect your hair growth cycle. So many factors that affect and that determines how long and how fast your hair can grow. So we have six main factors, and these factors will determine your hair growth rate. So they are genetics, time, health, age, your diet, and the weather. So I'm going to be diving into each in more detail in this lesson. So the first that I'm going to be looking at will be your genetics because this is the most important factor. So what do I mean by genetics? So as we can see from this hair growth cycle here, right? It says 2 to 6 years. So this is all determined by your genetics, right? So just in case you can grow your hair long, that means your this phase here, the active growth phase, will last up to 6 years. But if your genetics says that this active phase can only last for like 3 years, 4 years, then then that's pretty much all you can get, right? So if you notice that your hair grows very slowly, which for me my hair grows very slow. So what you can do to grow your hair long will be to focus on length retention, right? Because there isn't really much you can do to change this phase because it's something that has been passed down to you from multiple generations. So the next factor will be time. So I just posted this image right here. So obviously you're gonna need to give your hair some time to grow. Like your hair isn't just gonna grow overnight. So even though your hair is always growing, as you can see from the hair growth cycle, right? Your hair grows 24/7, it grows every single day, but it only grows by like a little bit at a time, right? So you need to give it some time to so you can actually see a difference in length. So for me, I recommend tracking your hair growth rate every month, right? Just to see, if your length is the same or if it's growing or, because you want to make sure that you are going in the right direction, right? So you can track your length by measuring it with a tape measure, ruler, or whatnot, depending on how long your hair is. Next factor, the third factor, it's also very important, and that's your health. If your body, one thing you have to realize is that if your body isn't getting enough nutrients, right? Because you are sick, you are under a lot of stress, depression, right? That's gonna slow down your hair growth cycle, right? And you might even start to notice more shedding, breakage, and thinning hair, right? So what I always recommend is to get enough exercise so you can go for walks, get enough sleep because your hair, I'm going to talk about that very shortly. Your hair grows at night, right? So you want to make sure that you are getting enough sleep. You can do some meditation, yoga, right? So your mental health is healthy, right? And if possible, just get out of the stressful situation that you are in right now, right? Because you want to make sure that your body is in a healthy state. And this is really important for us ladies because our hair, it's known as our crown and glory. And that's why we spend so much time on hair products, salon, anything that has to do with our hair accessories, hair extensions, right? Because our hair, it's one of the first things that people see, and sometimes if it doesn't look good, then that's gonna affect how you feel about yourself, right? So you want to make sure that you are healthy. Now, for those who are taking a prescription medication, right? What you can do will be to talk to your doctor about finding a prescription medicine that's not gonna bring you a lot of side effects, right? Because as we know, like most of the drugs out there, they have a lot of side effects. For some drugs, more side effects than what they are supposed to do. Or you can also seek a more natural alternative, right? So you can go to a holistic practitioner, right, to get something more natural, right? Herbs, some fruit items, vegetables that you can eat to make sure that you're healthy. Now, finally, in terms of health, so for naturalists who are pregnant, right? So your hair growth cycle will be different, right? And the reason for that is mainly because of your hormones, right? It's very different from somebody who isn't pregnant, right? So what might happen is that after giving birth, you might experience a lot more shedding. And the reason for that is because your hair would hold on, right, to the hair that was supposed to shed off. So let me just go back to the hair growth cycle here. So what's going to happen is that while you are pregnant, right, your hair will stay um, in this phase, right? Your hair will just stay in the telogen phase. And then when you give birth, right, then, your hormones can start to come back to normal. And then the hair that has been stuck here for months and months, because here it says telogen lasts up to 4 months, right? 2 to 4 months. But obviously, most women are pregnant for 9 months. So this stage can go up to 9 months. And then afterwards, when you give birth, then the hair will all come over to the exogen stage, right? And so that's why sometimes after giving birth, you might notice a lot of shedding than usual. The next factor is your age, right? So one thing to know is that as we grow older and as our body grow older, right, it'll affect your internal organs, right? So, or what I like to call your internal factory, right? So, and for us ladies, this change in age, it's even more prevalent for us, right? Because our bodies go through so much, right? So from like menstrual cycles to pregnancies to childbirth and then nursing, menopause, and then stress from the home, from the job and family and stuff like that, that can cause a lot of strain on the body, right? So, and obviously because we can't really control our menstrual cycles, and for those who are gonna have babies, pregnancies and stuff, right? What you can do, right, to counter all these effects will be to just exercise, you eat healthy, and you take daily supplements to make sure that your body will be healthy, right? Now, let's talk about natural hair growth tips for women 50 plus. So, like I said earlier, your age as you grow older, it'll affect your body, and that's gonna affect your hair growth rate and your hair growth cycle. So, for women who are above 50 years old, who are going through menopause, now this might not apply to you, but you might have a mom, auntie that might find this useful. And if that's the case, just send them over to this course so that they can also take this course and learn what you are going to learn. All right. So when we go over the age of 50 years old, it'll affect your hormones, right? And as a result of that, it'll affect your hair growth rate. So that's why for women who are above 50 years old, they might experience, some shedding, bald patches, excessive hair loss. But to counter all that changes, what you can do is to start living healthy right now, even before you turn 50 years old. So by that, I mean cutting out all the soda, alcohol, fatty foods, grease, and other unhealthy foods, like foods that just aren't good for your body. But instead, what you can do will be to opt for more plant-based food items, right? So eating a lot more natural and organic foods. And you can also take your multivitamins. So they have vitamins for women 50 plus that you can take on a daily basis. And you can also exercise and do other activities that will strengthen your mind and body. So I mean, reading, volunteering, and just getting your mind busy and active, right? And this way you can reduce stress and depression. Right? Again, if you have any question, leave it in the comment section below. So the next factor will be your diet. So what you put in your body, right? What you eat, what you drink, that's all gonna affect your hair growth cycle. So what one thing you should know right now is that your hair, it's not a vital organ, right? Meaning that your hair isn't necessary for you to be able to live. When you eat or when you drink anything, the parts of your body that you need to stay alive, like your lungs, your sight, being able to hear, speak, think, talk, and just cells and tissues in your body that you need to stay alive and healthy would receive those nutrients first. And whatever that's left over, that's what's gonna get passed down to your hair factory. So if you are not eating the right amount of foods or you are not eating them in the right quantity, that's going to have a huge effect on your hair growth cycle, and you might even start to notice slow hair growth or more shedding, right? Because your hair growth factory needs all the nutrients that it needs to be able to, stay functioning. So, what are some foods that you can eat to grow your hair? So, I actually have a blog post that I wrote where I listed 10 different food items that you can eat to start growing your hair. But let's just start with these items right here. So, you can eat foods such as fish, meat, eggs, poultry, beans, tofu, cheese, milk products. And if you are a vegetarian or a vegan, you can just eat the plant-based foods, right? So the beans and the tofu, right? And you also want to ensure that you take daily supplements just to make sure that your body is getting all the nutrient that it needs, right? And the supplements, you want to check it to make sure that it has vitamin B, folic acid, magnesium, sulfur, silica, zinc, and beta carotene, because all these nutrients are vital for your hair. So, like I said, I have this blog post. I'm gonna leave a link where you can go read that blog post, and I have a video on it as well. And you can get some ideas on food items to incorporate into your diet. All right, so the sixth reason and the sixth factor that affects your hair growth rate is the weather. Now, this might not be that crucial, but it is worth mentioning. And the reason for that is depending on where you live. So, if you live in a temperate climate, so meaning you have four seasons, you have the winter, summer, spring, and fall. When the temperature changes, right, your body will also adjust with what's going on in your environment, right? Because when you think about it, right, in the fall season, the trees will give up their leaves, right? And the leaves will fall, right? That's why it's called, the fall, right? And the same thing happens with your body as well. Your body will go into this like, hibernation state almost, right? So that's why in the winter time sometimes you have less energy, you might gain a little bit of weight, and you might feel a lot more tired, or you might have what's called a seasonal affective disorder, SAD, right? So you might feel a little bit sad, and I used to experience that as well in the winter time in Canada, right? So, and all these changes would definitely affect your body, and which means it will definitely affect your hair growth cycle. So during the winter time, your hair growth cycle might slow down a little bit, right? So you might experience, slower hair growth. But you can counter this effect though by eating healthy and exercising, because when you eat healthy and especially when you exercise, you're going to raise up your metabolism level. Also, you're going to raise up your heart rate, right? And you will send more blood to your brain and to your hair growth factory than usual, right? So, exercising during the winter time will do a lot for you, right? And another thing that's really key, really crucial in the wintertime is to ensure that you keep your hair moisturized. And if you sign up for the hair growth challenge, you probably downloaded the free 7 days moisture retention regimen. If you don't have it yet, just go to my blog and you can just search for it, and then it'll pop up and you can just download that regimen, and you can use that regimen all throughout the winter time to ensure that your hair stays healthy, stays moisturized, and it doesn't break during the winter time. Alright, if you have any question relating to this lesson, leave it in the comment section below. And if you have friends and they haven't signed up for this free, completely free of charge course yet, send them over to the registration page. Again, the links and everything will be provided below this video. And then they can also come and learn, what you just learned right now. Alright, see ya. Take care, and the next lesson will be all about length retention. So how you can actually grow your hair longer. All right, take care. Bye bye.